With LEGO Powered Up becoming the standard electronic system for all LEGO sets, it is important to look at the history of its predecessor, LEGO Power Functions. LEGO Power Functions was primarily made to include infrared remote control capabilities. Instead of having to use the RCX with a large remote control, everything could now be done with a much smaller form factor with just the battery box, the receiver, the motors, as well as the actual remote. LEGO Power Functions was first introduced in 2007, and in LEGO Technic, the first set to get the Power Functions treatment was the motorized bulldozer. As for LEGO system sets, we got the LEGO Creator 4958 Monster Dino, which was fully remotely controlled, and that set was just incredible. It included a sound brick to make the T-Rex actually roar, which was really cool. Both showed that power functions could be controlled remotely through infrared, and both also showed that the system could be integrated into any LEGO model, not only LEGO Technic models, although the same thing was possible with the 9-volt system. This was one of the main appeals of the power function system, that it would be integrated into both LEGO Technic and LEGO System. 2008 marked the release of the revolutionary $30 accessory box for power functions, and now a ton of LEGO Technic sets that were kinda cheaper could be upgraded with motorization for only $30 extra. This was pretty incredible. We have the 2008 telehandler, the excavator, we also have the front loader from 2009. We just had a bunch of LEGO Technic sets that could be easily upgraded with motor capabilities, and this added an extra level of playability. 2009 marked the introduction of return to center steering for the first time ever in power functions, with the Track Turbo RC set released in 2009, as well as the Twin Extreme RC released in 2009. This piece was very big and not very convenient to use in your own LEGO Technic creations, or really any LEGO creations, and essentially it was just a power functions electric motor with a remotely controlled steering mechanism all in one unit. 2010 necessarily wasn't that revolutionary for the power functions electronic system itself, but we did get the insane 8043 motorized excavator, which had only 4 motors controlling 6 different functions, 7 if you count the switching of the actual gearbox. This was the first LEGO set ever to have a remotely controlled gearbox, and that was just really incredible. This set had some insane mechanisms, and it had even 2 independent axles passing through one turntable with a combination of driving rings surrounding one middle axle. I mean, this set is just incredible. If you can find a good deal on it on Bricklink, or maybe you can buy the parts separately for it on Bricklink, I highly recommend just building some of the mechanisms of this set. I mean, it's probably the best LEGO Technic set of all time. 2012 was a revolutionary year for power functions, as with the 4x4 crawler, we got 3 new power functions electronic components. First, the version 2 infrared receiver, which would work very well with the large power functions motors. This was another new component, which was sort of a balance between the extra large motor and the medium motor. It provided much greater torque than the medium motor, but it was still relatively compact, and it was a very nice motor to have. And finally, we got a proper servo motor with return to center steering. Unlike the old return to center steering, this could be integrated very easily into any LEGO Technic set, into any LEGO system set, and the power function servo motor still remains one of the most prized power functions electronic components ever, as its value is quite expensive on Bricklink. Since then, nothing really that major happened with the power function system itself, but the sets were just incredible. The best part about power functions was being able to buy a cheap LEGO Technic set and then upgrade it later with motor upgradability using the power functions $30 accessory box. In 2017, we got the LEGO Boost robotic system, which marked the introduction of the Powered Up system, although back then it was not marketed as LEGO Powered Up. The Powered Up marketing first started with the LEGO City Trains of 2018, as well as the 2018 app-controlled Batmobile, and the Bluetooth control did allow for greater range outdoors. However, it was very concerning that the stackable cables were now gone, and essentially we were just using some LEGO connector cables, and you really couldn't have an infinite number of ports. A similar thing happened back in the RCX era of LEGO Mindstorms. The RCX system used the 9-volt electronic system, and the cables were stackable, meaning you could connect a theoretically infinite number of motors to just one port, and that was really incredible. But with the NXT system, we did not get the stackable cables, and we only had, 3 ports for the motors, and we had 4 ports for the sensors. Then finally in 2019 we got the introduction of the Control Plus system, which was using the powered up electronic system for the first time ever in LEGO Technic sets, beginning with the 4x4 Extreme Off-Roader. But ultimately, why is Power Functions still loved by so many fans till this day, including myself? Number 1, the simplicity. It was incredibly simple to use with just a plug-and-play experience. You could get started with LEGO Power Functions in basically under a minute. It was really awesome. And number 2, it was cheap. Cheap power functions with motors being under $10. With Powered Up now, you have to pay $40 a motor. This is incredibly overpriced, but with the power function system, you could get a bunch of motors and have a bunch of motors controlling all of your different LEGO sets for a decent price. And finally, number 3, the nostalgia. Many of us, including myself, grew up with the power function system. We remember the power function system fondly, and we have a strong emotional attachment to the power function system. Even when we get a super advanced LEGO electronic system in the year 2100, for example, I will still deeply remember the power function system fondly, as it is my childhood. Power Functions is my childhood, and Power Functions is also the childhood of many LEGO Technic fans. And if you would like to learn about some of the advantages of the successor of the Power Function system, called the Powered Up system, then click on the video right over here. This is your Unbrick Me here, and I'll see you in the next one.